Hi guys, welcome back. And today I'm going to be doing a video talking a little bit more, elaborating a little bit more on whip or forearm fire or internal rotation, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of different names for it, versus hello elbow. Sadly, hello elbow is still kind of like 90% of what's taught out there, even by former famous pitchers, former collegiate pitchers who are out there teaching hello elbow. But if you look at video of them actually pitching in games, it's not actually how they threw. So unfortunately, there's still a lot of that being taught out there. So here I am today to explain to you kind of the difference between the two, the issues with hello elbow versus forearm fire, and kind of what we see with both. So typically what we see with hello elbow is you will see girls go into their pre-motion. Typically the palm faces back at the back side of the arm circle, and then they kind of push through and snap up. However, there are some coaches out there who still teach hello elbow with a palm up, elbow down position at the back side of the arm circle. So they'll still get to this position and then still snap up, okay? Whip, or forearm fire, or internal rotation, takes that palm up, elbow down position at the back side of the arm circle with upper and lower body separation. The elbow gets down to the hip, the hand snaps forward and relaxes and fires out. First of all, excuse me, I want you guys to stop and think about every other athletic power movement that exists out there. Not just in softball, but in other sports. Baseball, tennis, basketball, football, golf, okay? Even batting in baseball. And try to think about any other athletic power movement that involves bending your elbow, that involves going from a bent position in the elbow to another bent position in the elbow, okay? Hint, there aren't any, okay? So if you take a batting swing, okay, when you're hitting, elbows start bent, we take a step, the hips rotate, elbows pull down, and they extend, okay? Palm up, palm down. An overhand throw, okay? Elbow starts bent, we lead with the elbow, hand extends towards our target. Palm up, palm down, okay? A free throw or just shooting a basketball, elbow starts bent, extend. A tennis serve, elbow starts bent, elbow leads, extend. There are no, like, what do you think would happen to those athletes if they went from here, let's take a tennis serve, for example, to here? Probably not going to hit the ball very well, okay? What do you think would happen if you were hitting and you took a step and you led with the elbows and then you went like this? Probably not going to hit the ball very well, okay? So when we talk about hello elbow versus whip, why is softball pitching the only athletic power movement where we're teaching girls to go like this? It shouldn't be, okay? Now, here's the other thing about hello elbow versus whip, okay? Hello elbow, very, very pushy and stiff. Every single girl that has transitioned to whip with me from hello elbow has at one point when they were doing hello elbow complained of elbow pain, wrist hand swelling, shoulder pain, because it's a very stiff and unnatural movement to do, as opposed to letting that hand relax and just fire out in a natural, loose way, okay? So injury prevention, always number one for us, and there are certainly a lot more injuries with hello elbow than with correct whip. I will talk about that later, correct whip, okay? There are some coaches out there teaching hello elbow who will claim that just because their palm is up and their elbow is down at the back side of the arm circle, even though they finish like this, they're still doing whip or internal rotation. They are not, okay? Let me explain why. So actually, fun fact for you guys, internal rotation is actually not really a correct term for whip, because internal rotation talks about the act of the palm going from an up position at the back side of the arm circle to down at the front side of the arm circle. And that movement happens from your elbow down in your forearm and wrist, okay? Internal rotation is actually not an available joint motion at the forearm. Internal rotation is available at the shoulder, at the hip, in basically those ball and socket joints. So what internal rotation actually is like, if you were to use that term, would be turning the shoulder, which is actually not what we want to do. We don't want to deliver from the shoulder. We want to deliver from that palm up, elbow down forearm. That's actually called pronation, going from a palm up, palm down to a palm down position. So, but that's neither here or there, okay? So all these Hello Elbow instructors who are teaching palm up to elbow snap, can you see how they're never getting to that palm down position? So they're starting palm up, the elbow's coming down, and then they're pushing and snapping up. Palm is still up, okay? So you're never truly getting that correct whip or snap or internal rotation. So just because you're starting from a palm up, elbow down position here, does not mean that you're actually doing whip, okay? You are doing whip when the palm starts up and the elbow starts down, and that hand snaps and fires out to that relaxed palm down position. And again, pronation, hand turning over, okay? Here's the other thing about whip versus forearm fire, okay? One of the great things about forearm fire, this is why we call it forearm fire, by the way, because we think in general it's the easiest to understand. Whip is also good too. But when we talk about internal rotation and all these other fancy terms that are not technically correct, this is why we call it forearm fire or whip. The great thing about whip or forearm fire is that it allows the hand to stay in the throw zone for as long as possible, meaning that it allows our hand to stay in a zone that is going towards our target for as long as possible. I actually posted a tweet a couple weeks ago that was actually about batting. There was an MLB batter, and one of the analysts talked about how he did such a good job of keeping the bat in the zone for as long of a time as possible, which gave him the best connection and the best distance on the ball. That concept is actually really similar for whip. For whip, it allows that hand to stay in that zone and going towards our target for as long as possible. Hello elbow, even if you're starting back here, I'm already out of my throw zone. I'm not going towards my target anymore. I'm releasing in a direction that's nowhere near my target, okay? And it takes away, it creates plateaus in speed and makes command more difficult, okay? And again, whip, forearm fire, internal rotation, pronation, whatever you want to call it, utilizes a really relaxed, loose arm, whereas Hello Elbow, there's no way to be loose when you're doing this. Even just standing here without the ball, I can feel all that tension in my elbow, in my wrist, in my fingers. And again, that's just a recipe for injuries, which is something that we never want to deal with. We hope that our athletes never deal with injuries, okay? So just to recap, whip versus Hello Elbow. Hello Elbow uses a stiff arm that can create injuries. Hello Elbow is pretty much the only time you will see an athletic power movement that snaps up instead of using extension, loose extension. Again, think about any sport. Whip allows us to keep our hand in the throw zone for the longest amount of time going to our target. Hello Elbow takes us off that throw zone, releases in a direction that's nowhere near our target. So I hope you guys have found this helpful. I hope it's given you a little bit of a better understanding of the differences and the pros and cons between whip and Hello Elbow. I've got a lot more videos coming your way, and I'll talk to you soon.